Hello and welcome to the Gold and Silver Club oil price forecast for the 15th of November 2017, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. The oil price forecast will include fundamental outlook, a snapshot of the latest developments, oil technical analysis with our daily trade idea, and economic calendar, the key events to watch. Fundamental outlook, a snapshot of the latest developments. Oil fell 2% on Tuesday on rising US oil output and global demand concerns. In fact, oil prices have now fallen for 3 straight days in a row on forecasts for rising US crude oil output and a gloomier outlook for global demand growth in a recent report from the International Energy Agency. This despite the recent support from tensions in the Middle East that has been swept aside as rising rig counts and US shale output are in focus for traders this week. However, despite the recent cautious sentiment and the pullback that we're seeing in oil at the moment, prices may be unlikely to fall much further, largely due to supply restrictions led by OPEC and Russia, which have helped reduce excess stockpiles. So with that, we'll move over to the charts and we'll talk you through our trade idea. Oil technical analysis with our daily trade idea. Now moving over to the charts, first we'll have a look at Brent crude oil and then we'll have a look at WTI crude oil. Right now Brent crude oil is trading at $61 per barrel, and indeed this pullback could be a very good opportunity to re-add to a long position as long as we see price get supported on a retest back towards $60 per barrel. Indeed, that would be a potential level here that we would look at from a trade idea perspective to get back into a pullback here on oil in order to take the prices higher, potentially leading into the OPEC meeting, which is due to take place on the 30th of November in 2 weeks' time. So short term, we see the potential here for more downside on oil. Certainly, we'll be looking towards Wednesday's crude oil inventories for more direction here short term for oil, but any pullbacks back towards the 60 level will certainly be looked at closely here to see whether oil does get a bid at that zone. A retest of $60 per barrel marries up with underlying support here, and we've also got a previous level of important resistance which could then turn into support. So from a trade idea point of view on Brent crude oil, we wouldn't be surprised to see additional follow through to the downside in the coming days, potentially retesting $60 per barrel. The price right now is at $61.73 per barrel. At that level, we would be looking for buying opportunities, providing the price holds. If it was to break through underlying support and continue to follow through to the downside, we would consider a sell short at those levels. But if we do pull back to $60 per barrel and the price gets well supported, that could offer a very good risk reward in order to take the price back towards the recent highs here. So certainly on Brent crude oil, expecting short-term additional momentum to the downside, but soon I would be looking at a potential buy opportunity here as well. Very similar situation with WTI crude oil. So WTI crude oil is in fact almost down 3% on the day into the close on Tuesday. It has also got very overbought, so it's resolving an overbought condition at the moment. And again, soon we could be coming into a very key level here, which would be $55 per barrel here. So we're not too far off. Very similar to Brent crude oil. We would be looking for underlying support between the range of $53 to $55. For shorter term trades, you could look to take advantage of the momentum here to the downside, but I would be very nimble on any sell short positions at the moment, and then looking for the potential to re-add to positions once we get short-term oversold, and particularly looking for any bounces here off the lower end of this channel, which essentially would take the price back down to approximately $53 per barrel. Potentially, if we overshoot more than that, we get additional momentum to the downside, we may get just below $53 per barrel here, but ultimately $53 to $55 per barrel, as long as we do see oil get a bid at those zones. Short-term momentum is bearish, but if we see support come in at those levels, we'll be looking to position ourselves ahead of the OPEC meeting, which is due to take place at the end of the month on the 30th of November. And of course, on Wednesday, we also have have the crude oil inventories report, which is due out at 3:30 London time, which will certainly give us some additional short-term direction here on oil. And of course, if you'd like to find out the exact trades that we will be taking at the Gold and Silver Club, including our exit, our entry, our take profit on every single position, make sure you stay on to the end of today's session, and we'll provide you with details of how you can make an application to become a member of the Gold and Silver Club. Economic calendar, the key events to watch. The key events to watch on Wednesday, particularly as they relate to crude oil, will be Wednesday's crude oil inventory data, which is scheduled for 3:30 London time. Alongside that, we also have the consumer price index, which is due at 1:30, and retail sales also due out at 1:30 London time. Are you ready to take your trading to the next level? Then the private members live trading room is definitely for you. For more information on the private members live trading room, please visit www.thegoldandsilverclub.com.